Welcome to a tutorial on editing and touching up an AI-generated image in Corel Painter 2023. In this video, we are going to go over proportions, hue shifts, and adding color layers. This is Kyle from AI Art Reference. To start off, let's get rid of this hairline that is coming from nowhere. I always like to start with the easiest things first. Things that are the most obvious. So I'm starting with that hair. I'm adding hair to where it should be, and I'm trying to make it look like it's flowing like hair. So next, I noticed that the nose is not symmetrical. So I'm going to do what I can to make this symmetrical and look more normal. There's some hair over here that doesn't make sense, so let's fix that. What I'm doing is I'm taking the colors that are near the hair, I'm just copying it using the little eyedropper, and then I'm using the brush to stipple out the hair. And then a lot of times I use the grainy water blender to then smooth out my stippling. The hardest part about getting rid of the hair is making sure that the surface looks smooth and the textures look correct. As you can see, it looks all jagged, so I'm using the blender to smooth that out. It still doesn't look right, so we're just gonna work on this, putting the shadows in the right places, putting the highlights in the right places. So now I'm gonna use the focus sharpen tool, and I'm gonna sharpen up the details. I'm just using a pencil tool to draw in the outlines and define the eye a little bit. If you notice, the eye has a very big bottom lid. We need to make that lid smaller. And that's easily done by pulling the shadow closer to the lid. Now I'm just working on this other eye, defining the edges. Pretty bumpy, so let's smooth it out. Try to match the same texture and consistency as the rest of the image. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle of her face, and this will help us with proportions. If you notice, the lip is off and the chin is off. So we need to move the chin over. But now it's created a big gap that we need to fill in and make it look right. Once again, we're just using the eyedropper tool and we're just going to fix it. I'm just making the shadows and the colors match. If you notice, I'm not too worried about making it look perfect at first. All you have to do is create the shape with the color, and then you go back over with the blender, and it just makes the magic happen. I'm just fixing the upper lip. You notice the chin isn't symmetrical either. The left side and right side do not have the same slopes. So sometimes what I'll do is I will stop working on something, give my eye a break. When I come back to the face, I'll have a fresh eye, but we don't have time to waste, so I will work on another part of the painting that's easy to fix. And because I know I didn't want those metal stems coming out of her head, I just took them out. And I'm just using the colorize to change the color around the perimeter of her hair to give her kind of an aura. And it's okay to use different colors for different sides. Try different colors to see what you like. So I'm just getting rid of the text that the AI created. And you've noticed it's not perfect. It's okay. I'm going to come back over it with the blender brush, and that will fix it. Work on this face again. Now that I have a fresh eye, let's work on it some more. If you notice, the lips are not centered, so I'm centering that. Then I can go back and fix the gap. If you notice, the lips look like they had 3 humps. Lips only have 2 on the bottom lip. So I darkened the center and I'm lightening the sides. Not liking her cheek, it looks really flat and warped. So to make it not look so flat, I'm gonna have to bring it up in the value. So I'm gonna add some brighter colors to bring that cheek forward. And that will help make her face not look flat. So light brings things forward, shadows push things back. So now I'm going to draw a line across her eyes. And if you noticed, her one eye is slanted. But when we do that, it makes shadows in weird places. And it leaves a gap again. So we got to fix the gap. So now her eyes are looking more natural. A great way to check your proportions is to use lines. Just fixing the chin. I still feel like the lip is slanted. I want to make it more level. filling in the gaps with colors that are nearby. And then I'll use the blender to smooth it out again. So now I'm just adding the textures back into the lips. Now I'm changing the color from orange to more red. Adding some turquoise to make her suit pop. And here's a cool little trick. When a surface has a highlight, if you change the hue, shift the hue to a warmer color, it'll make the surface more believable. So now I'm going to fix her mechanical arm, and I'm just gonna try to make it smaller so it looks more dainty. I don't like how her legs are exposed. I want those to be a suit. I want her to be in a full body suit. Because if she was in a battle scene, her legs wouldn't be exposed. She would want to be protected. So let's make her legs protected. I'm also just adding the highlights to her suit to make it look more metallic. I'm going to try to match the other arm. So instead of spending the next 2 hours on painting her arm, I'm just going to copy the other arm. Sometimes the best thing to do is just find the easiest solution and make it happen. So I want her arm to still be behind that leaf. It'll create depth. And I'm just going to erase the other arm that's underneath that layer. I'm just trying to match that pillar in the background. And because there's hard edges, and I don't want them to be hard edges, I'm using the blender. And if you've noticed, I don't use lots of brushes. I have a painting tool and a blender and a color tool and a pencil. That's really all you need. Don't make it complicated. There are times when you need texture brushes. I just find it's easier to use less. Less is always more. You spend less time looking for a brush when you could just be already working on it. I'm just adding some highlights, some green highlights to the arm. There's probably plants on the ground that are reflecting light up. I'm also adding reflections onto the forearm. You always have to think about the light and how it's bouncing, where it's bouncing from. If it's bouncing from a leaf, it's gonna bounce the color green onto another object. Now I'm just using the colorize to put in some blues and greens to add some interest and depth. And I'm trying to think about the reflected light and how it would bounce off the armor. See, I'm just adding few small color changes. I'm gonna add some negative space to the hair. Not a ton, just some more. So now I'm going to sharpen the image again. I'm going to find that sweet spot. I'm adding an equalizer, testing it to see what I like. I'm creating a new layer because I want to add the color blue into the painting. And what I do is I add the paint bucket and I paint over the whole image in a new layer. Then I just remove where I don't think the blue will be. And this will add some amazing depth to the painting. I have the opacity set to 50 while I'm erasing, but then as I add it, I will remove it down to 5%, 10%, sometimes 20. So now I'm adding yellow, and that's going to be in the places where I want there to be more light and more warmth. I'm bringing that down to 6%. Now I'm adding some green because there are green plants in this scene. I'm I'm gonna remove any place where I think the green plant would not bounce light. So where I leave the green is where the plants are bouncing the light too. And then I'm gonna collapse all those layers, and that's what it looks like with the added depth. And it's done.